The Exorcist Believer is directed by David Gordon Green and serves kind of as a reboot of the Exorcist franchise, and kind of as a direct sequel to the original Exorcist, ignoring all the sequels that came before it. When two girls disappear and return 3 days later, their families discover that something isn't quite right with them. They very soon start to discover that there is something in fact evil happening. I've got to be honest, I was not looking forward to The Exorcist Believer. I did not like any of the films in David Gordon Green's recent Halloween trilogy, although I will say Halloween Ends was a very bold and ambitious film, and I did respect it for that. But the trailers for The Exorcist Believer were also terrible, so yeah, I had absolutely no excitement going into this. Let's start with positives. I do think there is a clear attempt here to prioritise practical effects over CGI. There are scenes when they're happening that do feel like, oh, they actually did that, they didn't just use CGI. And there is certain imagery because of this that has a sense of realism to it. One of the big storylines in this film is a father-daughter story, with the father being played by Leslie Odom Jr. And I think in the third act of the film, there are some moving moments involving that. Aside from some good performances, I don't have anything else to say that's positive. One of the big issue is I just did not find the story interesting at all. While the screenplay does give you backstories as to why you should care about the characters, ultimately how the scenes are executed in terms of the dialogue and how they're shot, it just aren't effective. The dialogue between characters feels very unnatural, so it's just hard to connect. As I said in my plot description, this film deals with two families, and the family that doesn't involve Leslie Odom Jr., I honestly did not care about whatsoever. I found their characters insufferably annoying. So it's really hard to care about them, especially when they're a really big focus. If you've seen the trailers, then you know there is a legacy sequel aspect to it, where they bring back Ellen Burstyn, who was in the original Exorcist film. And I've got to say, for the most part, I really did not like the treatment of her character. Maybe apart from one key scene, she's in this film because she was in the original Exorcist film, and the filmmakers think, oh, that's going to get people in seats. Also, from a technical point of view, I don't think The Exorcist Believer is well put together. The editing is very jarring. There are fake jump scares implemented that don't do anything for the atmosphere. There are strange random images inserted into scenes where you're just like, what? The cinematography here makes this film look really low budget. And spoiler alert, it's not. This film cost $30 million to make, but it looks like it cost less than $1 million. The camera work is very odd, and the colour palette is very drab. I get it, it's not a horror film, it's not necessarily going to look bright, but the colour palette is so drab to the point where the film is very unpleasant to look at. Guys, overall, I really did not like The Exorcist Believer. It is not a good start to a trilogy. They want to make 2 more. I don't know how they're going to get 2 more out of this. And the film's existence just feels like it's there to make money more than respect the original. I'm going to give The Exorcist Believer a D+. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. Blu-ray Billy, logging off.